Letter to God. So before you read, you should know. They say faith can move mountains. So faith is powerful. Strong belief is powerful. So old saying is there, faith can move mountains. But what should we put our faith in? This is the question this story delicately poses. So what should we put our faith in? Means whom to believe. A strong belief for whom we should have. So this is the story which will say about this thing. So Lencho is a farmer who writes a letter to God when his crops are ruined, asking for 100 pesos. So Lencho was a farmer, so actually his crop was ruined, so he wrote a letter to God. Does Lencho's letter reach God? So it is a question. So does Lencho letter reach God or not? So we know this event doesn't happen in this world. So letter to God will not be reaching to God. But he had a belief. So it is trying to link his belief, faith, with the scenario, the current situation. Does God send him the money? Think what your answer to these questions would be and guess how the story continues before you begin to read it. Okay, so you should think why he wrote the letter to God, what was his problem, and did he get the money from God or from somewhere else. So this we can see. So he has written a letter to God and he has received the money, but who has given him the money? This will come in the following chapter. So activity 1. One of the cheapest way to send money to someone is through the post office. So we know in previous days, earlier days, people used to send money through money order, so through post office. Okay, so that was one of the way to send the money from one place to other place. If someone is living to some other town, some other village, so money can be transferred through post office. Have you ever sent or received money in this way? Here is what you have to do. As you read the instructions, discuss with your teacher in class in the meeting of these words. Counter, counter clerk, appropriate acknowledgement, counterfoil, record. So these are the words which come across when we send money to a person from post office or through post office. So consult a dictionary if necessary and you will get to know about the meaning of these words. The acknowledgement is the most commonly used thing nowadays. Also acknowledgement we use because this is a proof that I have given something to that and it has been signed and returned back to me. So that is called acknowledgement. So counterfoil, record. So consult a dictionary if necessary are these words corresponding to these English words in your languages. So this is about money order. This is the form of money order. You can see required. Then story begins here. It seems from here. No problem. We will read this also. Think about who you will send the money to and how much you might want to send money to a magazine, for a magazine subscription, or to a relative or a friend. Or you may fill out the form with yourself as sender and your partner as receiver. Use a part of your pocket money and submit the form at the earliest post office to see how it's done. See how your partner enjoys getting money by post. Notice that the form has 3 parts. The money order form, the part for official use, and the acknowledgement. What would you write in the space for communication? So this is some of the lines that you can see later. Now here the story begins. The house, the only one in the entire valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. So it is describing the scene, so or the location where the house is located. So the house is alone. House is lone and it is sitting on a hill. Okay, so there are no other houses around. So this is a kind of personification. See, house cannot sit or sat. We given sat, so it is related as a personification as a person. So it is there. So the only one in the valley, in the entire valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. From this height, one could see the river and the field of ripe corn dotted with the flowers that always promised a good harvest. So from there, it was on top of the hill, so from there you can see the field which is like sown. The corn is sown and it is grown also. So corn is grown and the flowers have come out on the corn, which means that the corn this time will give good results. The harvest will be good. The only thing the earth needed was a downpour, or at least a shower. So only thing earth needed, or the corn crop that plants needed, was some water or rain. Throughout the morning, Lencho, who knew his field intimately, had done nothing but see the sky towards the northeast. So field again. So field is seeing the sky, means it is expecting some rain to come down from the northeast direction. So now we are really going to get some water woman. The woman who was preparing supper replied, "Yes, God willing." So now Lencho is talking to his wife, okay, who is preparing supper. So he said, she said, "Yes, if God will wish, we can get good rain." The older boys were walking in the field, while the smaller ones were playing near the house, until the woman called to them all, "Come for dinner." Then the boys were playing, two boys. Okay, the older was playing in the field, the smaller one was playing near the house. So the lady called both the son to come for the dinner. It was during the meal that, just as Lencho had predicted, big drops of rain began to fall. So Lencho has predicted and the rain started. In the northeast, huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching. The air was fresh and sweet. The man went out for no other reason than to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body, and when he returned he exclaimed. So man went out to get the feeling of the raindrops. So he went out. These aren't raindrops falling from the sky. So what he is saying now, so these are not just mere raindrops, they are new coins. So he started expecting to get good harvest because of this rainfall. The big drops are 10 cents pieces and the little ones are 5. So he compared the raindrops with money, cents. So he is saying big drops are like 10 cents pieces and little ones are 5 cents. With
Sir, why is he telling like that?
because of the rain, he can have good crops, good harvest of corn he will get. So by selling he can earn money. So it is because of the rain that he is getting good crops, which he can get, not getting, he will get in future because of these raindrops. Okay, so he is saying raindrops as these are money only, because it will be linked to the crops and he will sell it to get money. Okay, with a satisfied,
I didn't understand.
the raindrops are compared to the coins because these raindrops are finally give good results in the crop yield. The corn is sown and the harvest will be good because of these raindrops. So the raindrops are compared with the coins. Bigger drops are 10 cents and smaller drops are referred to as 5 cents. Not cents, yeah, 10 cents pieces, and little one is the 5 cent pieces, correct, cent only. So with a satisfied expression, he regarded the field of ripe corn with its flowers, draped in a curtain of rain. But suddenly a strong wind began to blow, and along with the rain very large hailstones began to fall. Now suddenly there was a change in the situation. Along with the rainfall, now hailstorm started to fall. Hailstones. Okay. So some strong wind began to blow, and then the hailstones began to fall from the clouds. These truly did resemble new silver coins. So these truly look like a new silver coins if it will come in a small amount. So it is referred to as new silver coins because boys will be playing with it. Okay, the boys exposing themselves to the rain ran out to collect the frozen pearl. It will.
Why is he telling silver coin when the hailstones are coming? Because it will destroy the crop, right?
Yeah, this truly resembles new silver coins for the boys who are playing with it. New silver coins, if it is small in number, it will not destroy the harvest if it is falling less. So writer has represented it. This truly did resemble new silver coins. New silver coins, okay. It can not harm the crop, but it looked like silver coin, because at that time Lencho was thinking about good crops, good harvest. So small coins, okay, big coins, okay. Now silver coins also okay, as long as it doesn't harm the crops, okay, because it shines.
So like when it
He
started
didn't
coming for a
think-
long time,
he didn't think, because he thought the crops will be the harvest will be good and it will not harm the crop.
so like he only thought in the positive way.
Yes, he thought, okay, it is shining, so it is like a silver coin, it will not harm the crops, okay. Only when later in the chapter you will see, when it fall too much, then it destroyed the crop, then the situation will change at that time. Now we will see that it looks like a silver coin and boys are playing with it. It's really getting bad now, exclaimed the man, because it, see, now the situation is changing here. It's really getting bad now, exclaimed the man. I hope it passes quickly. Now he is thinking it should go away quickly. The hailstones are not good for the crops. It did not pass quickly. For an hour the hail rained on the house, the garden, the hillside, the cornfield, on the whole valley. The field was white as if covered with salt. So it rained heavily with hailstone. So because of that, everything crop were destroyed, and everything, it was ice and ice only, snow or ice.
Sir, no, sir, because he has compared the
The field looks white because of the snow, and it looks white as if it is covered with salt. That's it. Not a leaf remained on the tree. So it was so disastrous. Not even a leaf remained on the trees. The corn was totally destroyed. The flowers were gone from the plants. Lencho's soul was filled with sadness. Now Lencho became sad because his crops were destroyed. Flowers were broken. And the crops were totally destroyed. When the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field and said to his son, "A plague of locust would have left more than this." So locust is a insect kind of thing which will come to the crop and destroy the crop. So he is comparing the hailstorm or hail with the, what you call that, the locust with the hailstone. That even locust would not destroy this much, cause this many destruction. Even the locust will not cause so much of destruction as it is done by the hailstones. So he is saying this: the hail has left nothing, because now everything was destroyed. This year we have no corn. That night was a sorrowful one. All our work for nothing. There is no one who can help us. We all go hungry this year. Now he was sad and thinking about the what to do this year, because his crops were destroyed. But in the hearts of all who lived in that solitary house in the middle of the valley, there was a
So what is the meaning of solitary house?
So there was a single hope, help from God. So he said everything is destroyed, now only God can help. Don't be so upset, even though this seems like a total loss. Remember, no one dies of hunger. So it is said, don't be upset, because we know that no one dies of hunger. So God will do something good. That's what they say, no one dies of hunger. So his wife might be confronting him that everything will be okay. So keep courage and move forward. All through the night, Lencho thought only of this one hope, then help of God, whose eyes, as he had been instructed, see everything, even what is deep in one's conscience. Lencho was an ox of a man, walking like an animal in the fields, but still he knew how to write. The following Sunday, at daybreak, he began to write a letter which he himself could carry to town and place in the mail. It was nothing less than a letter to God. He knew how to write. He was a farmer. He has sown the crop and his harvest was destroyed. So he knew how to read and write also. So he thought to write a letter write a letter to whom? He thought to write a letter to God. So he himself wrote a letter and he went to place it in the mail. So he went to the town to place it in the mail. So God, he wrote, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. So what was written? The letter extract is given here. God, he wrote, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again and to live until the crop comes, because the hailstorm, and we know hailstorm has destroyed his crops. He wrote to God on the envelope, put the letter inside, and still troubled went to town. At the post office, he placed a stamp on the letter and dropped it into the mailbox. So he dropped the letter also, and in the address he wrote to God. One of the employees, who was a postman and also helped at the post office, went to his boss laughing heartily and showed him the letter to God. So one of the employees saw this letter and he showed it to other also, to his boss also. Let's see, somebody is sending a letter to God. Never in his career as a postman had he known that address. The postmaster, a fat, amiable is someone who is friendly, amiable fellow, also broke out laughing, but almost immediately he turned serious and, tapping the letter on his desk, commented. So initially he laughed, but immediately he got serious and said, see what faith! I wish I had the faith of the man and wrote this letter. He was thinking that, see the faith of the man who has destroyed, who had his crop destroyed, and now he is asking God for some money. So his faith is very strong. So he is wishing that kind of faith for himself, starting up a correspondence with God. So in order not to shake the letter's faith in God, the postmaster came up with an idea: answer the letter. But when he opened it, it was evident that to answer it he needed something more than goodwill, ink and paper. So he thought to answer the letter himself, but it was not only the paper and ink he needed, or some good words was not needed here. Something more was required, because he was in need of money. Okay, so he asked for money from his employee, but he stuck to his resolution. He asked for money from his employees. He himself gave part of his salary, and several friends of his were obliged to give something for an act of charity. So all of the employees there thought to give some help, the monetary help to that person, to Lencho. It was possible for him to gather together the 100 pesos. It was impossible for him to gather together the 100 pesos. So he was able to send the farmer only a little more than half. So it was impossible for them, the post office people, to gather 100 pesos. So he collected more than half, means more than 50 pesos they collected. He put the money in an envelope and addressed to Lencho, and with it a letter containing only a single word as a signature: God. So they put the money and only they signed as God, nothing more was written in it. The following Sunday, Lencho came a bit earlier than usual and asked if there was a letter for him. So the following Sunday, Lencho came to the post office to check if some letter has come in his name or not. It was the postman himself who handed the letter to him, while the postmaster, experiencing the contentment of a man who has performed a good deed, looked on from his office. So postmaster experiencing the contentment of a man who has performed a good deed, because he has collected few money, more than 50% of what was needed for that person, Lencho, and he was happy that Lencho has come to receive the letter, to take the letter. Lencho showed not the slightest surprise on seeing the money. He was not surprised, because his faith was like robust, full of faith he had, full belief he had in God. Such was his confidence. But he became angry when he counted the money. After counting the money. God could not have made a mistake, because he thought God has sent the money, so God cannot do mistakes. nor could he have denied Lencho what he had requested. He cannot deny also what Lencho had requested. Immediately Lencho went up to the window to ask for paper and ink. Again he went up to the window to write another letter. So he asked for paper and ink. On the public writing table he started to write, with much wrinkling of his brow caused by the effort he had to make to express his ideas. When he finished, he went to the window to buy a stamp which he licked and then affixed to the envelope with a blow of his fist. So he again pasted the envelope with the blow of his fist. The moment the letter fell into the mailbox, the postmaster went to open it. So once again he wrote the letter and dropped to the mailbox, and postmaster went and took the letter and opened it. It said, so what was written in the letter is here: God of the mercy, no, God, of the money that I asked for, only 70 pesos reached me. So he is saying that God, see, whatever money I asked for 100 pesos, but only 70 pesos had reached. Send me the rest, since I need it very much. So he is asking for 30 pesos more because he was in need. But don't send it to me through the mail, because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks, Lencho. But he is also requesting that send the money directly to him and not through post office, because the post office employees are a bunch of cooks. Because he was thinking that remaining 30 pesos might have been like stolen by post office people, because he didn't know that they only have given him the money. He was thinking God has given him, because he has said God cannot do mistakes. So God has given him 100 pesos, but 70 is reaching him. So in between 30 pesos has been stolen somewhere or is missing somewhere. So he said to send the money to him directly and not through post office, thinking that post office employees are a bunch of crooks.